Welcome to Carnivore is Vegan, and this week in Vegan Instagram, the Venus Family Saga continues. I'm your host, Carnivore is Vegan. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Keep supporting me so that I can reach more people if you like what I'm doing. Thank you in advance. Alright, this week we're going to start out with, I just saw this video on TikTok that I thought that reminded me of this. This doesn't have anything to do with this week's Vegan Instagram, but this is a oft-quoted saying of Gary Yourofsky. Find a 2-year-old child, place the child in a crib, and in the crib put two things, a live bunny and an apple. If the child plays with the apple and eats the bunny rabbit, would you let me know? Well, it reminded me of this video, and this video was just hilarious because the baby would eat the rabbit if it could.
Nom 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 nom. Hey, what are you doing? No. This doesn't work. I'm too big. You should visually be able to see that I'm too big, okay? Stop it. Stop it. Like, even if you get me into your beak, how are you going to chew me, swallow me, digest me? Look at me. I am rotund. I am so rotund. This will not work out. Just stop it. Go find something else to eat.
I don't want fruit.
Nom 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 nom.
And I just thought that this was hilarious because at the end it says, I don't want fruit, but the baby would eat the rabbit if it could. If it was small enough, it'd stick it in its mouth and it would eat it. But it just can't. But if you stuck a durian fruit and some worms in front of the baby, it would eat the worms and not eat the durian fruit because it just couldn't physically get it in its mouth. So and also if you stuck some pennies in front of the baby, it'd eat the pennies. I don't take dietary advice from toddlers, so Gary's just bizarre. I think he's just mentally ill. I don't know if you know who he is, but he's a piece of work, let me tell you. Alright, next up, I found this video of this kid named Misha, and apparently he was on one of the Voice Kids. I'm not sure what country. I know he's from Russia, but I'm not sure if he's still living in Russia or if he was on the Voice Russia or something, but he says he's vegan, and I believe him. I'll show you why in a moment at the end of the video. Oh. Look at those eyes. Just dark circles and sunken eyes. I didn't get the audio of this very well, but it's a song saying, I'm vegan. Sorry for my out-of-tune voice. I can't carry a tune worth of shit. So, in any case, this picture was, on the left, was him just a couple of years ago, and now look at him, just those dark circles under his eyes, and he was I'm guessing he was probably just an omnivore eating crappy food when he was a little kid. And that's why the teeth, eating a SAD diet. But look at those eyes after he's been vegan for a little while. Oh my goodness. And maybe it's just from stardom. I guess he has some semi-stardom. Who knows, but he's sure not looking good. Poor kid. Alright. Next, Zoe Rooster again, talking about her health problems. She's always talking about her health problems. There's almost a day that doesn't go by that she doesn't talk about her health problems. So this was a conversation, I didn't start it, but somebody had been talking about plant sentience, and I wasn't suggesting that anybody stop eating plants and start eating animals because of plant sentience. In my mind, it wouldn't make any difference because we gotta eat something, and I don't think it would matter to vegans either. But anyway, the reason that I pulled this up is because she's talking about animal pain, and animals that clearly suffer. And these vegans oftentimes make a great case for eating bivalves that don't supposedly suffer. If we have to prove that everything suffers before we assume it suffers, then, like they do with plants, then why not bivalves? So at some point I'll probably do a video on why vegans make a great case to eat bivalves, and that bivalves should be vegan according to their own standards. This lady, she's a piece of work. She's always got crazy arguments, and she's supposedly a PhD, but she's more of a cultist than she is a PhD. She doesn't do anything by science. She's on Twitter, by the way. That's a Twitter post. I just ran across this. I thought this was great. It's a 111-year-old Australian guy, oldest Australian man ever, recommends eating chicken brains. He was also a retired cattle rancher. Oops, sorry about that. And what's interesting is that the last oldest ever man in Australia was also 111. So Jack Lockett, and I didn't look up Jack Lockett, but I'm sure Jack Lockett also ate meat. Whether he ate chicken brains, I don't know. But it's unlikely we'll ever see a vegan get to this age. And why aren't we seeing these long-lived vegans that are 111 years old? They'll tell you that veganism's too new. Well, that's a great reason to avoid it. So you can't tell me that it's natural and that it's species appropriate and then tell me it's new at the same time. Those are contradictory. So I just thought that was fun. So eat your chicken brains. Although I have to say I've never eaten chicken brains. I don't know if I want to start. This guy is Iowa Dairy Farmer on TikTok. And if you're on TikTok, you really need to follow this guy. He is just fantastic. He is debunking all sorts of vegan myths, and he gets people asking questions, and he just answers them straight up and shows all his animals, and he's getting people just to convert to going back to drinking milk right and left. He's just absolutely fantastic, and just his farm is an open book. He shows everything about it. He did a live stream the other day that apparently got 65,000 people on live stream, and he has gotten about 100,000 or more followers in 2 months. This guy is on fire. Please follow him. And here's one of his TikToks.
You know, I've been asked if I sell merchandise. I don't, but if I did, I think I'm going to make a shirt that says, just try. As in, just try and do a little research. Your guys' laziness knows no bounds. Locked in a facility with no fresh air or grass. Let's ruminate on that. What are you eating there, Cow 713? I'll tell you, she's eating a ton of grass. This is called a totally mixed ration, and it is full of grass, and they go nuts for it. I can guarantee whatever you would want to feed them, they like this better. Because I know my cows better than you do. No fresh air? How on earth can a cow produce milk with no fresh air? Look at the openings on the sides of this barn. I open that curtain manually, but that curtain's on an automatic temperature control. When it gets cold, it shuts. When it gets warm, it opens. Controlling the amount of fresh air. Who'd have thought? And pal, I milk with robots. How on earth would the cows walk up here if they were locked in their stall? That only took me about 2 minutes to debunk. What else you got?
So that guy, I just think he's awesome. So follow him. He's great. Vegans are always talking about how veganism is the next biggest thing. But 10% of the entire U.S. are former vegans and vegetarians. And this is from a polling service called Faunalytics. I have it in the Perpetual link spreadsheet that will be available at the bottom below this video. So there's 5 times more former vegans and vegetarians than there are current vegans and vegetarians, because it's a revolving door. Let's make it 100% former vegans and vegetarians, that every vegan and vegetarian becomes a former vegan and vegetarian. All right, going to Plant-Based Doctor again. Look at this beautiful picture. And his son's just starting to look a little rough. He doesn't look like he's super happy there. It could just be the picture. I don't want to put onto them anything like that, but I just thought this was a great picture of his wife's hair loss. I talked about in the last picture of her telogen effluvium. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm not exactly sure. But her hair loss is really bad right there. That is not good, but that's a great picture of it. And notice that she's kind of always seen from this side now in his things because she's probably conscious of it. So, are they really thriving? I don't know. That doesn't look like thriving when you have hair loss. All right, somebody last week said The Who pulled support from the Eat Lancet diet. So there is the BMJ article for it. It is in a peer-reviewed journal, and that is in the Perpetual link spreadsheet below. So you can look that up if you like. All right, let's get to the main actor here. Leo Venus, supposedly Dr. Leo Venus. He still says that he's vegan, so this is his Instagram page. And I think I mentioned last week he doesn't even say that he's thriving. He says, over 8 years vegan and still here. Does that mean you're thriving if you're just still here? That doesn't sound very exciting that you're just alive. But this is super interesting. So last week I was musing about Leo Venus's change in his YouTubes, and he took off the fact that he was a doctor on all of his posts, and there was no mention of him being a doctor. Well, Hot for Health took one for the team. This is from Hot for Health's video, and she watched all of those crappy-ass videos on his YouTube channel, and he found this great quote that he says he's not a doctor anymore. Here goes.
You're not?
No.
Okay.
Bring it in. Corona hug.
Oh.
I don't care. I'm not a doctor anymore.
But maybe I have corona. So
I don't care. I'm not a doctor anymore.
You're not?
No.
Okay.
Bring it in. Corona hug.
Oh.
I don't care. I'm not a doctor anymore.
So, he says he's not a doctor anymore. There's only a few reasons that you wouldn't be a doctor anymore. But maybe he washed out of his finals. I don't know. Maybe he was never a doctor. We're all kind of speculating about that. But he made another video, and I condensed it down to just the interesting parts because he had a whole bunch of crap in there that was not interesting in the least. But here's the meat from his video talking about what he has planned next.
But anyways, just wanted to give a quick heads up that new YouTube video is up. This will probably be my last one in a long time because I'm retiring. I like retiring from things. I retire from everything I do. I think I've been a little bit all over the place for the last year, trying all sorts of new things from a sales job to playing sports. I have made the decision I'm going to pursue the medical career now. For now, this channel is going to be on hold. The good news, though, is that I am posting all of the old videos again. They're going to stay there. I might have to take them down once I start applying for jobs because the job situation is a bit weird. It's very judgmental. Sometimes it's best not to have anything on social media whatsoever. But anyways, just wanted to give a quick
So that's weird that he says, I'm going to be pursuing my medical career when he was talking about being a doctor all this time. So, pursuing his medical career? Wasn't he already pursuing his medical career? Now he says he was all over the place? What? If you're a doctor, you're committed to being a doctor generally. It kind of takes up your entire life. So, I'm not really sure what was actually going on. Was he ever really a doctor? That didn't sound like he was a doctor, so I don't know. I'm just speculating. Anyway, next up, there was a new study out. I'll show the name of the study next. I don't think that's in my spreadsheet, though, because I couldn't find it again. Nutrient deficiencies affect women the most, new research shows, and coincidentally, the nutrient deficiencies that affect women the most are calcium, iron, and vitamin D, all which are the most deficient in a vegan diet besides B12. So that's the name. It's a Spanish study, I believe Spain and not from another Latin American country. And here is the English translation of that. Update on nutritional deficiencies in female athletes from the scientific literature. So female vegan athletes are going to be even worse off because they're going to have all those deficiencies already, or at least be prone to them. Next up, James Aspie. Dear non-vegans, do you see a meaningful difference between the animals you eat and human beings? If so, what is it? And I thought this was interesting because vegans will always backtrack, and so he's saying there is no meaningful difference between humans and animals. Yet, somebody says, well, do you see a meaningful difference between the animals you say you defend and the millions of animals that die for your fruit and veg? And of course, he basically says, we do less harm, so that's okay. But you wouldn't just go out and kill a bunch of humans for your food. So he essentially answered his own question. Do you see a meaningful difference between the animals he kills and human beings? If so, what is it? Any of us, if we decided to just go out and kill a bunch of hungry humans that were eating our food in our garden, would go on record as, like a mass killing, and it would be headline news. So he obviously is basically just making an emotional argument because he obviously sees a difference between humans and animals, that he feels he can go out there and strafe bomb a bunch of animals and kill them for his broccoli, but he certainly wouldn't do that to humans, so he obviously sees a difference. He just won't admit it. Next up, Fully Raw Christina. I thought this was really funny. I was wondering if she was going to talk about pest control in her garden, and she didn't in this video, but they were out picking, I think, papayas off trees, and the birds got them. So just wait till their garden happens and the pests start getting their garden. I'm curious if she's going to talk about it. Somebody brought up an interesting note of this too, is that all the other papayas were green, but there's one ripe one, and that one got eaten by birds, but she showed a whole plate of perfect papayas, but doesn't show her picking those perfect papayas. So did she really go out and find a bunch of perfect papayas after these were the ones that were ripe on this tree were all eaten? Or did she just go out and buy them for effect? I don't know, but it seems unlikely that all the ripe ones were eaten by birds here, but she got a whole ton of them. Next up, we talked about Gunhild Stordalen and how she's the Eat Lancet co-founder, and she's promoting a plant-based diet. So I thought this was interesting because there's sort of a conspiracy theory out there that the elites want us eating bugs, and there's a whole bunch of memes out there of Greta Thunberg saying, eat the bugs, and so she's one of the elite, and she's pushing this, are you going to try crickets one day? And I don't know if you noticed that bottom, it said, numb just like candy. Yeah, right. And I don't have any problem with people eating insects if it's by their own choice. I just don't want a world agenda where we're forced to give up meat and eat insects. I would certainly try them. I've had termites before. Termites in the Central American jungle taste like minty toothpaste. And I'd certainly eat more insects. I don't have a problem with it. I've tried those cricket bars, and I didn't like them very much. But I just don't want to be forced to eat that as my only animal protein source, but it would be better than a plant-based diet for sure. All right. Next up. Oops, I lost my place. Where'd it go? Oh, that's right. I was thinking that was John. Or Leo Venus again. Ran across this guy, Patrick Era Mooney, and he's a so-called vegan athlete. Well, this is how all these vegan athletes promote themselves. So he's saying, left, I'm a 19-year-old meat eater. Right, I'm 29-year-old vegan. Well, these before and afters all presume, they make it seem as though that was right before he went vegan. But he's only been vegan for 4 years. So why did he put up a picture of 10 years ago? He doesn't have any pictures of right before he went vegan, but I suspect he was looking really good. He probably gained the majority, if not all of his muscle on an omnivorous diet. Yet he's like, look at me, 10 years ago. I was just a skinny kid. It's just how disingenuous they promote themselves. And he says, yes, my physique on the left did evolve trying to go on a plant-based diet, but he's not being... Why didn't he show the picture? Why did he have to show the picture of him when he was 19? That just... It's promoting a not very nice truth. That vegan lawyer... So I just thought this Instagram post just shows her true nature. But what I really wanted to put her up for was that somebody did an account. She has a dog named Bella that she talks about, and her dog Bella is vegan. And somebody did an account of Bella, I hate being vegan dog, and I just thought that was absolutely hilarious. Whoever thought of that, I give you total kudos. And so sign up for Bella Vegan Dog on Instagram. That's just brilliant. I wish I would have thought of that because it's hilarious. Next up, we have The Recovering Vegan. And she is a 20-year vegan. She's been eating meat for the last year. And her before and afters of eating meat for a year are amazing. I do not know how old she is, but I presume... Oh, there it is, 57. This was her 6 years ago. And after 1 year of eating meat, she looks like that. So 6 years between these. She was 6 years younger here, and she looks 10 years older. And 1 year of eating meat, and she says she feels great. So good for you, Recovering Vegan. Congratulations. And people go sign up and follow her. And that's it for today, and I just thought I'd show a picture of my farm, a little video. We had 7 new piggy babies, and I just thought this one in the middle was hilarious. It looks like he's crowd surfing on the other ones, or he's half asleep. I'm not entirely sure, but he's just laying there on top of the others while they're all nursing. Super cute. They're 2 days old, 48 hours old this morning. So, my little bacon seeds. I do not know how those things survive. They just look so fragile, but they are hardier than you think. Anyway, like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.